On this episode of the Big Success Show, Afraid to Win? 5 Steps to Conquer the Fear of Success.
Big Success with the Professor and Mary-Lynn.
You're on a roll, making progress. Victory is in sight. Then the full weight of what is about to happen slams right into your head. This can't be. You appear to be on the verge of big success. But then, your hands seem to be sweaty. You tell yourself you are not worthy. You don't deserve big success. So you stop playing to win, and you start playing to not lose. You pull back without even being conscious of it. Before you know it, success eludes you again. You tell yourself, fate just isn't on my side, and life goes on, the same life.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Welcome to the Big Success Show, where we help you create the life you want and the life you deserve. Hi, I'm Mary-Lynn.
And I'm George, the Professor.
You say you want success, more impact, more income, more freedom, more fulfillment. Yes, you want success.
But do you really? Or do you freeze up when things start going well? You overthink. You procrastinate. Suddenly, you feel tired, distracted, unsure. What's going on? You might not be afraid of failure. You might be afraid of success. And this fear is far more common than most people realize.
In this episode, we're going to explore what it really means to be afraid of success, why it happens, what to look out for, and we'll share 5 steps to overcome it. So, what does fear of success really mean? Now, in our last podcast episode, number 1195, we talked about the more common fear of failure. But fear of success? Now, that's entirely different.
Now, as you might remember, fear of failure is an avoidance response to a risk of not meeting expectations. Fear of success is the anxiety that shows up when life is about to change in a big...
And that's big with 2 G's.
A big, meaningful way.
And when we're talking about change, that's not bad change in this case.
No, it's a good change. In fact, we like to look at it as a positively big change. But your brain doesn't always know the difference. Here's an interesting fact, Mary-Lynn. Psychologists have known for a long time that humans react strongly to uncertainty even when the outcome is positive.
Isn't that interesting?
It
is. You wouldn't think so.
No. There's a natural tendency to just resist any kind of change.
But when you really think about it, the kind of change that success brings is new expectations, new visibility, new responsibility.
Yeah, right. And your brain tells you, this is unfamiliar. Unfamiliar might not be safe. So it hits the brakes.
Right. Your brain is trying to protect you from these uncertain things that could come along.
Yep.
So here are some sneaky signs that you're afraid of success because this fear just doesn't show up waving a red flag. It hides in everyday habits, like procrastination at critical moments.
Not just routine delays, but a precise bad timing that blocks your forward progress when it matters the most.
Perfectionism that never ends.
Waiting to start or complete something until the conditions feel just right, but the right moment never arrives.
Another sneaky sign that you're afraid of success, self-sabotage.
Undermining your progress in subtle ways, canceling meetings, missing deadlines, second-guessing decisions.
Downplaying your wins is another sign.
Saying things like, I just got lucky, or, oh, that really wasn't that big of a deal. This internal language minimizes your achievement.
Feeling anxious right before a breakthrough.
Especially when you visualize success. You stop playing to win, and you start playing to not lose.
That's something that you were mentioning at the beginning of the show. Now, why does your brain think success is dangerous? We've kind of touched on this a little bit, but let's dive a little deeper. Because the fear isn't about success itself. It's about what success means and what it changes.
That's such an important point.
Yeah. And here's what people often fear beneath the surface. Success changes your identity. Because if you've always seen yourself as still figuring it out, or I'm still working my way up to the top, becoming successful, well, that forces a new story.
Yeah, your brain loves familiar identities, even if they limit you. As the godfather of all things positive psychology, Martin Seligman explains our beliefs about ourselves shape our actions more than we realize. So when success challenges your old self-image, your mind tends to resist it.
Boy, the mind is so powerful.
Sometimes mine doesn't feel that powerful, though.
Here's another reason why your brain thinks success is dangerous. Because success makes you visible. More success equals more eyes on you, more praise. Yes, but also more judgment, more comparison, and more expectations.
And Brene Brown's research on vulnerability shows that being seen, truly seen, can feel emotionally risky. It's easier to stay small than it is to be exposed.
Another thing that success does is that it raises the bar.
A quiet fear whispers, if I succeed once, I'll have to keep succeeding. That pressure feels heavy, so your brain says, let's not go there.
No. In reality, you're not afraid of success itself. You're afraid of who you'll have to become, what you might lose, and how much life might change.
But growth always feels uncomfortable before it feels empowering. Rather than stepping back to regain comfort, it's wiser to step forward with fear and allow yourself to grow into the next level.
That's very wise, Professor. How do we do that? Here's 5 steps to move through fear of success. Number 1, name the fear. Next time you're aware of that fear of success, pause and ask, if I actually succeed at this, what am I afraid would happen?
Now write that answer down. Is it the fear of judgment? The fear of loss? The fear of expectations? You can't solve a fear that you don't face.
Step 2, shrink success down to size. If your brain panics at big, grandiose ideas like, I'm going to dominate my industry, or I'm going to 10x my entire life, it's just too big and too scary when you go there.
So instead, ask, what is one small action that moves me forward 1%? So for example, send the email, post the video, outline the plan. These are all simple actions that you can take that will help you shrink success down to size.
Step 3, upgrade your identity gently. And this kind of ties into what we just did here with step 2. Instead of saying, I'm a confident, wildly successful person, because that's an affirmation that your brain is going to reject because, again, it's just too big and grandiose and vague.
So try something different, like, I'm becoming someone who follows through. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? Because your identity grows through believable affirmations. You believe with evidence. Every small win is proof. Not poof. Proof.
Yeah. And step 4, track proof that you can handle more. Fear of success often hides in a deeper worry that you're not going to be able to handle it.
So start collecting proof that you've already handled hard things. Write down challenges that you've survived, skills that you've built, problems you've solved. Build confidence from fully remembering who you are and what you've done.
And our final step, step 5 of how to move through fear of success, add structure so that fear has less room. Because fear loves a blank canvas, and it thrives when things are vague because it gives your brain plenty of room to imagine the worst case scenario.
But when you start adding structure, clear goals, a simple path, someone to check in with, and focus, fear starts to lose its power, and it gives your brain a sense of safety.
And that's honestly why we're such big fans of our Life Map course. It's designed to take that where do I even start feeling and replace it with a steady, guided path.
And we really wanted to create a practical way for you to move through those mental and emotional hurdles without feeling like you're wandering through the woods all alone. When you have a clear roadmap to follow, success stops feeling like a gamble. It just feels like the natural next step.
To get that structure in place today and to see exactly how the course works, head over to lifemapcourse.com. That brings us to this episode's big assignment from the professor.
Are you ready to turn insight into action? Here's your challenge. Tonight, write 1 page answering this question. If I were no longer afraid of success, what would I do in the next 30 days? Don't edit. Don't judge. Don't second guess. Just write. Then circle 1 small action from that list, something that you can do in the next 48 hours. Then do it. Not perfectly, Don't expect that. Don't worry if you're not confident enough. Just be consistent about it. That's how you teach your brain that success is safe.
That is the perfect assignment for this topic. And now, here's our big takeaway.
Yeah, it's a mindset shift that changes everything. Fear of success is not a stop sign. It's a sign you're growing.
If you weren't stretching beyond your comfort zone, you wouldn't feel this tension.
This discomfort means you're expanding your identity. That's progress. You know what? That leads to big success.
Next time, we're going to talk about another fear. But this fear is one that you want. It's the fear that drives the most successful people. Do you have it? Subscribe in your favorite podcast app so you don't miss the show.
And let's get connected on social media. We're at Big Success. That's big with 2 G's.
Get insights from us in your inbox. Join our Big Success community at bigsuccess.com/join.
And we thank you so much for listening today. Until next time,
here's to your big success.
Find Big Success at BIGGsuccess.com.